basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Without anyone expecting it, the Warriors began to suffer from injuries to their players, and at the moment the ideal would be to make a big deal to reinforce the squad. Warriors are interested in Marcus Smart. The Golden State Warriors currently boast a top 5 defense in the NBA. After a strong start to the season, they sit atop the Western Conference. However, the front office will undoubtedly look for ways to sustain that hot start in the coming months. According to Colin Keane of Sporting News, former Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart could be a logical trade target. The Warriors could send Melton's expiring contract along with Kuminga's expiring contract over to Memphis for Smart. The money matches up perfectly, Keane reasoned. And since that isn't a fair deal for Golden State straight up, the Warriors could also ask for a first-round pick from Memphis, say, in 2028. Memphis would be turning Smart's contract into cap space for the upcoming offseason, and the Grizzlies could decide this summer if they want to use some of that money to retain either Melton or the rising star Kuminga, after having seen Kuminga on the roster for half a season or more. When healthy, Smart is arguably a top 3 defensive guard in the NBA. He's improved as a perimeter scorer in recent years and has significant postseason experience. Most importantly, though, he has shown he can excel as a lead guard. Keane's trade proposal to send Smart to the Warriors is built off Brady Siegel's reporting for Clutch Points. The emergence of Scottie Pippen Jr. and rookie Jalen Wells has league personnel wondering if the Memphis Grizzlies would consider moving former Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, sources said, Siegel reported. Smart has one more year left on his contract after this season and occupies a near $20 million salary slot that the Grizzlies could utilize to add another high-profile player. Convincing the Warriors to part ways with Jonathan Kuminga will be difficult. He has emerged as a potential all-star of the future. However, he's in the final year of his rookie-scale contract and will become a restricted free agent in the summer. If the Warriors want to avoid a potential free agency saga, moving Kuminga could be the answer. Smart would instantly improve Golden State's rotation. He also fits the Stephen Curry and Draymond Green timeline. However, the Warriors would lose some of their explosiveness on the wing. Kuminga enjoyed a breakout 2023-24 NBA season. As such, he has high value around the NBA, thus making him the Warriors' biggest trade chip. It's unlikely the front office would be willing to lose him in a deal for Smart. Perhaps the Warriors' stance would be different if they were struggling on defense. However, Smart's value is somewhat redundant as one of the best rear-guard units in the NBA. Instead, the Warriors will likely look to keep Kuminga around for the long term. He's shown enough upside to persevere with his development. It won't always be pretty, but if Kuminga can continue his current progress, he will be a leading star in the future. Golden State has been straddling 2 developmental timelines for years now. It makes no sense to change course unless the return is a genuine superstar. Month-long gauntlet will show if Warriors are true contenders or not. Coach Steve Kerr on Tuesday used the word daunting when describing the Warriors' upcoming schedule, a clearer admission of what his team is about to be up against as opposed to how he referred to their stretch of games, beginning Wednesday night against the number 1 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder, after Golden State's loss to the Brooklyn Nets the previous night. The schedule is the schedule, Kerr said Monday, following the Warriors' 128-120 loss. I don't look ahead. There's all kinds of hard games. A couple weeks ago we had OKC, Boston, and Cleveland staring at us. It is what it is. You just play. We got to play better. Nothing else matters. All true statements. Kerr, his coaching staff and players only can go one game at a time. The past, which in the Warriors' case is 2 consecutive games of losing near 20-point leads in the third quarter only to lose to short-handed rebuilding teams, is the past. The future will be written soon enough. And they already have faced an intimidating set of games this season during a 5-game road trip that ended against the Celtics, Thunder, and Cavaliers. The Warriors went 2-1 in their toughest early season test. Up to that point, they had been beating up on bottom-tier competition. Those wins on the road against the Celtics and Thunder are what opened eyes across the league. Only now, the Warriors are staring at a slate that's a month's worth of games that can reveal if the whole really is greater than the sum of its parts. Golden State is opening the gates to a gauntlet. By the end of the calendar year, it should be pretty clear just how much of a contender these Warriors can be, if they're fine as is, or if some shaking up is in store. What's disappointing is the last 2 games were very winnable, Kerr said Tuesday after Warriors practice. Big leads, on the road in San Antonio and at home last night. Those are games we should close out, and obviously we're facing a daunting schedule ahead. So, it's disappointing, but it's 82 games and we're going to be facing all kinds of stuff, whether it's a tough schedule, injuries like we have now, people out. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. The Thunder are just the start. Then it's on the road for games in Phoenix and Denver. The Suns are 9-1 with Kevin Durant this season, and though the Nuggets have been good but not great, Nikola Jokic very much has been great by averaging a triple-double of 29.7 points, 13.4 rebounds, and 10.9 assists per game. Coming home won't be an easy welcome back when the Warriors have a 3-game homestand against the Houston Rockets, winners in 8 of their last 10 games, and then 2 in a row against the Minnesota Timberwolves. A short set of home games is followed by a flight to Memphis to theoretically play Ja Morant for the first time since January 25, 2023, and then a game in Minnesota for the Warriors' third date with the Timberwolves in 2 weeks. They come for their first of 2 games against the Indiana Pacers this season, and then a Christmas game at Chase Center against the Los Angeles Lakers, the 5th instance the Warriors have played LeBron James on Christmas. The year ends with another visit to Intuit Dome, and home games playing the Suns and Cavs. That wraps up 23 games where the Warriors' opponents have a current combined record of 136-91, a 59.1 win percentage. The only Western Conference team with a record under .500 in those games is the Timberwolves at 8-9. The only Eastern Conference team they'll face is the 8-10 Pacers, a team that can turn it around quickly. Something is missing in that math, too. It doesn't include the NBA Cup. In the middle of taking out their shields and staving off a number of the best teams in the West, the Warriors will be competing in the NBA Cup, having already qualified for at least the quarterfinals. It's our ability, and every team's ability, to win games in the midst of difficult stretches, Kerr said. To play through the bad stretches, to not get too down. You trust that over the course of the 82, if you have a good team and you're committed and you're playing with energy, your record is going to end up pretty good. 1 game at a time. It's the only way the Warriors can get back on track and keep themselves sane by not taking a long look at the schedule. What's in front of them can tell the story of what the season ultimately is going to be, good or bad.